Hello and welcome to this week's Green Umbrella Live Lunch with me, Nicole, Kim, and we have a very special guest today, Stephen O'Donnell.
What you do, Mum? How are you?
And you have really come on brand today, Stephen, loving the green glasses.
Always be accessorized is what I say. Fully accessorized.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Loving the whole. We'll get to the where you are and all the things that you've been showing us backstage in a bit. But yes, just letting people join us. Welcome. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So how have we all been this week? Let's start with that. We said that we were quite
tired, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Kind of tired. I went to London on Tuesday, down early morning, so 4:30 alarm, and then of course getting back late at night. So it was a tiring day, but it was really good because it was True London, and it was the first time we'd had True London in years. So that was excellent in the Stepstone building in just south of the river near St Paul's.
Oh, okay, interesting. Mm-hmm. And there and back in one day.
Yeah, I had a flying visit to my venue as well for the Noras and TA Tech, just checking that everything's A-OK. So in Marble.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Do you get a flight there then, I'm assuming, to get back in there in one day? Because that's quite a long train.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not walking. But yeah, there's a 7 o'clock flight down and 9 p.m. flight back home. So.
Okay.
What's unusual, what's odd is that you see many people on the flight home who are on the flight in the morning who are doing the exact same thing.
Oh,
so
interesting.
You can note to each other. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. And how long does the flight take?
It's about an hour. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fly to Stansted and then get the train in from Stansted.
Nice.
Stansted.
So if anybody does want to go to Glasgow or to London, get in touch.
You can zip up. I reckon I can commute to London probably as quickly as anyone in the surrounding home counties of around London. It's as straightforward for me to do, and I'm 15 minutes from the airport here.
Yeah,
that's great. 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when you got back, you were right on the doorstep.
Kind of, but it's still finding your car and getting home and get straight into bed.
Yeah, straight into bed.
But I'm not going to have any sleep now until the 7th of December, and then I'm going to sleep for a week.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I think that's a nice little intro into our next segment of why you're joining us today, Stephen. So do you want to tell the people that have listened, because we've got a few people that have joined now. So do you want to tell us why you're here with us today?
Well, so the reason would be twofold. First of all, this logo and then this logo. So the TA Tech Europe conference is on from Monday to Wednesday, the 4th to the 6th of December. And TA Tech's like a membership organization for job boards and recruitment technology companies. So obviously, we all know what job boards are, but recruitment technology companies would be everything from ATS software to CRMs for agencies to interview video tools, assessment tools, all of those platforms. And all of those platforms nowadays need to integrate with each other. So the companies who are members of TA Tech, they're all looking to partner with or collaborate or integrate with each other. And there are no other conferences where you can just be sitting with people in the industry in recruitment technology without being distracted by potential customers, i.e. employers and recruitment agencies. So without recruitment agencies and employers in the room, it's a whole different conversation because we're talking about the employment landscape, what the challenges are, what's coming up, and how they can partner with each other. So TA Tech is on those days, and then on the Wednesday, the 6th, of course, is the Noras, the National Online Recruitment Awards. So the Noras, and I have one I prepared earlier. So the National Online Recruitment Awards, it's the 23rd.
Lovely.
So we'll be giving out 13 of these in total. They're quite dangerous, actually. You need to be careful. So it's the 23rd awards, and at least half of the finalists this year were not finalists for the same awards last year. So there's a lot of new companies involved in there. So it's always a big party. It's always a big carry on. There's usually a fair amount of alcohol involved. There's a band on stage. So the awards themselves are serious, but the awards event, we like to have a good laugh, and it's dangerously close to Christmas, so it's going to be very festive. So, we're going to be wishing everyone a very happy Noras.
A very happy Noras. Love that.
Yeah.
So you said there was 13 categories, did you? Was it 13?
Yep. So there are awards for job boards, best generalist, specialist, and general, for employers, large and small, for recruitment agencies, from national agencies, likes of Adecco and Hayes and so on, down to small startup recruitment agencies, one-man bands or one-woman bands often, and also for publications, any newspaper or trade publications that are advertising vacancies online. So essentially, the Noras, when it started, was all about recognizing excellence in online recruitment from whoever is advertising jobs online, and doing it from a candidate's point of view. So we had this year almost 12,000 nominations from the public. So they nominate recruitment websites that they like, that they think are doing things well. And in total, there were just under 500 separate recruitment websites were nominated. So we then have two judging panels who decide, first of all, who the finalists are going to be, and second of all, who the winners are going to be. And we'll announce the winners, obviously, on Wednesday, the 6th of December.
Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? I didn't
realise how it worked, because I actually attended last year's event, and I thought that some of the companies were all completely different. Like there was the one that stands out to me is and I think they did win. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen, but was the Ella's food company?
Ella's Kitchen.
Ella's Kitchen. Yeah, I remember Ella's Kitchen.
So they obviously got they got chosen to be nominated through the public. Wow, that's so interesting.
Yes. So when I set up the Noras, I did not know how industry awards are supposed to be run. So I didn't research how anyone else was doing it. So it turns out that most of the others, companies have to submit themselves. Sometimes there's an entry fee. Usually they ask for evidence of why you think you should be considered for this award and so on. But at the very beginning, I thought, well, I'll just ask the public, and I'll ask them to nominate the ones that they like best in those categories, and we'll judge them from a candidate's point of view. So we're not asking for evidence, because if I can't see it on your website, then I can't judge it. So we only judge what we can see as a candidate. So each of our judges, they'll go to all of the websites, they'll search for jobs, they'll register, they'll apply for jobs without following through and taking the job, obviously. But they'll go through everything that candidates do as much as they can and assess how well that works. And sometimes it's fantastic, sometimes it's spectacularly good. And too many times, though, sadly, there are some terrible recruitment websites out there. What we want to do is focus on the good ones. If we throw a spotlight on the ones that are really good, then everyone can take inspiration from that. People will know what good looks like, and it's very often the case that when people are designing new recruitment websites, they take as an example the sites on finalists for the Noras to be able to point out, well, I'd like this. Plus this, plus this, and so on. So when you're looking to build a good recruitment website, then the best examples that you can find will be finalists for the Noras. And all the companies who have been finalists and winners for the Noras over the 23 years, and there's about just under 500 of those different organizations, they're all members of the Nora Academy. So once you're in, it's a bit like the Oscar Academy. Once you're in, and you also get to vote for our Academy Award. So the Academy Award is not voted for by our judges, but it's voted for by the members. So the members who have been finalists in all these years, effectively your peers, they're voting for who they think this year is the best example of excellence in recruitment, in online recruitment.
That's fantastic. And as you said, it's a great way for people to take inspiration. You want to celebrate the good ones, so then people that are struggling can get inspo for their recruitment businesses.
And it's often the case that these companies, the people who are behind websites, whether it be the tiniest recruitment agency and it's the owner who's built this website themselves, or a big employer, there's usually teams of people involved in putting these things together, and no one's really appreciating that, or very rarely is that appreciated, where people say, I like what you did there, or you know, if you change this or move this around, or you know, whatever in the process, then that'll be better. So even if you think you've got a good website, you can always learn from others. You can always see other sites and think, oh, I see what they did in the application process there. I'll incorporate that technology into my website.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and this might just be my blonde brain. So how does Ella's Kitchen relate to recruitment website?
So Ella's Kitchen are
when
an
I thought
employer.
it was when I thought it was recruitment website, I thought you'd be talking sort of like, you know, your CV library and all that sort of stuff. So where does Ella's Kitchen fit in?
So CV Library are a job board. There are lots of different types of job boards, you know, maybe specialised in different industries or locations. But we also have awards for employers. So employers, and it might be Vodafone, it might be Virgin Media, who've been previous winners. But Ella's Kitchen are an employer in their own right. And actually, their website, if I'm remembering correctly, is similar in theme or in feel to the Innocent Drinks Company, who have previously been winners, in that the simplicity of the site, the simplicity of the design makes it really easy to use, really easy to understand the organization, and it gets across the culture of the organization. They're not a huge employer, but what they're able to do is build a website that really represents them well, and anyone considering looking for a job at Ella's Kitchen can really easily tap into what the culture is about and be able to assess, well, that's the kind of company for me, or it's not the sort of company for me. And authenticity is really important there. We want companies to show who they are, not pretend who they'd like to be. And Ella's Kitchen was a great example of doing that.
I see. Understood. And for anybody that is wondering, Paul Green is on the case. Of course he is.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you.
Thank
You
you,
can go and check
Paul.
that out now.
So, Stephen, can people still, has the deadline sort of, has it stopped for people to vote who they want to nominate for these awards, or is that still ongoing at the moment?
So nominations begin at the beginning of August and they end partway into September. So that was all done a while ago. We then have our first set of judges. So there are 10 judges who decide of those sites that have been nominated, who are going to be the finalists in each of the categories. And that's a big job in itself, because there's such a disparity of quality between all the sites that are nominated in the first place. Some are nominated because, you know, well, for any number of reasons, and some are really deserving. But they have the job of deciding who the finalists are going to be. So that's where we are now. We know who our finalists are, and the finalists were announced about 3 weeks ago now. But our next set of judges, the next set of 10 judges, and they're all experienced in either traditional recruitment agency recruitment, TA, or HR. So they all know their stuff. They're all, you know, have amazing careers behind them and expertise to bring. So they visit all the websites and decide now, the second set of judges, who the winners are going to be, and we'll know who the winners are, as I say, just under 2 weeks from now. So we've had all the scores in. I have a good idea who the winners are. There's a couple of scores still to come in, so it's not finalised, but all will be revealed on the 6th of December. And we still have, there's time now for all the companies who are members who will have their voting forms. They can still vote for the Academy Award. We will announce next week who the shortlisted top three are for the Academy Award, and then of course the winner at the awards event.
Amazing.
Yeah,
this
is
a
exciting.
question.
We do, and it's a good question, Paul.
It's a great question, Paul. It's almost as if it was one we were going to ask ourselves.
It is a good question. So I've obviously been in recruitment for a long time, 36 years, I think. Initially owning and running recruitment agencies and then technology companies. So I'm relatively well networked in this business. And what I do, frankly, is I pick up a spread of people with expertise in different areas to become judges. Obviously, people who are judges can't be with companies who are potential contenders and winners. And sometimes we've been judges before who that's been the case and they've had to step down because we can't have a conflict of interest. But it's all people who are experts in the field. So on the judging panel, and let me just call it up here because I can refer to some of them.
Here he comes with his tech.
Get my tech. Well, I'm not going to put this on.
Yeah, here we go.
But the judges include Christina is one of our judges, as well as we've got people from Matt Alder as a judge, Katrina Hutchinson O'Neill, Jerome Turnick, who was the founder of Smart Recruiters, Kate Shoesmith from the REC, James Payne from Job Adder, Derek Pilcher from Job Train, Jackie Torr from Team. We know Team. We're all very friends.
Yeah, we know Team.
Emma Merrington from the firm. So these are all people who are experts and have a huge amount of credibility. And we know that whenever people of that kind of stature lend their credibility to something, then they need to be confident that it's run properly, that it's run correctly, and the integrity of the Noras is absolute. It's really important that when a company is shortlisted as a finalist or becomes a winner, that they know they've earned it and that they can shout from the rooftops about it. It's not
it's not just a wishy-washy award. That's just another.
It's not the name being drawn out of a hat. A lot of consideration has gone into it, and again, with the Noras being around for such a long time, then I like to think that a lot of that is down to the credibility of the judges. So it's really important that we choose judges that have that expertise. Also, we do each year, we'll refresh it. We'll drop a couple of judges and add new ones each year, so that there's a bit of variety in there. So, and frankly, it's a big job, because when I give a spreadsheet with 500 recruitment websites on it to them, then they have to visit all of these sites. So it's a lot of work, and I personally visit all of these sites and register as a candidate and maybe even apply for jobs. So I reckon I'm the busiest job seeker in the UK, or maybe amongst it. Although we have to bear it in mind, when you are a job seeker these days, it's much tougher when you seriously need that next job than me doing it as an exercise. So respect to anyone who's out there. And one of the most important things that companies can do to check out their own recruitment website is try and apply for one of your own jobs and see how you like it, because that's usually a big eye opener. That it's much harder and more frustrating than you would think.
Yeah.
And do the judges do this all independently, or do you get together for meetings to?
So I've been on judging panels for other awards, and we get together in the room. We have the debate back and forward.
I can imagine that being really fun.
Well, it is fun, and I think it can work. We don't do that for the Noras, and the reason for that is that what I don't want is for the judges to be debating what they think, because what often happens is that the person who's good at shouting or debating wins out. Whereas they're all experts, they all know what they think already. So I'd like them to do it independently of each other. So they all get spreadsheets to their email address, and they'll go through all of the sites online. And of course, when you're judging websites, you can't really be clicking on links to view websites when you're all sitting around a table. You need to really be doing it on your own as a job seeker. And job seekers, that's how they look for a job. They don't do it in a big meeting room amongst other people. They do it on their own.
You have to feel the experience, don't you, of going through it.
It's a solitary exercise, and usually one that's by nature discreet. You're not telling everyone else about it. You might be doing it while you're at work, but you're making sure that no one else sees your screen. And with people working more remotely these days, then that's the way it is. So it's the same sort of experience.
Yeah, and that does make sense. You made some good points there about how, you sort of going through it yourself, having your own opinion, but hearing 500 businesses to look at on websites, it's like that could be quite daunting. So working as a team, I could imagine.
And it is a lot, but over the all of these years, I've gotten used to it each year. It does mean that at the end of the year, I can't go anywhere. I need to be around for the Noras. As soon as the Noras are done, then I'm gonna lie down and stay down for a good week just to get over it. And of course, with the TA Tech conference, in the same week, in the same venue, then that's making the prep just doubly busy. So I'm not getting much sleep these days. But when I do, I'm going to get a proper rest.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And speaking of the venue, Stephen, is it at the same place as last year? Because that looked like I was there, and it looked like a fantastic place with the balcony at the top, with the tables underneath the big stage.
Yeah, I was speaking with them this morning actually, and because it's dangerously close to Christmas, they're going to be fully decked out with all of the Christmas decorations. So there's going to be a big Christmas tree in the corner. There's going to be tinsel on the tables. There's going to be baubles everywhere.
Oh my God, it's going to be like an X Factor final. You know, in the old days when they had a massive Christmas tree.
So we've got the band
there
on
was a lot of
stage.
singing involved.
Well, so the band on stage have been prepped. I think they're going to be singing some Christmas songs. We'll get Slade lined up. We've got Fairy Tale in New York. And we've got a fabulous women singer with them. So it's going to be really cool. And anyone who wants to join in with the band, then that's exactly what happens every year. Once we've handed out the awards, and the band are on stage during the awards playing people on when they win. But once the awards are done, then all bets are off, and people can come on stage and join in with the band.
Once the Prosecco's been flowing, I can imagine things get a little bit crazy.
Honestly, the Oscars have got competition. You know, it's not often that you can get up on stage with the band and have a little sing song, and they really it was amazing to watch last year. It was great entertainment, I have to say.
Usually there's a fair amount of alcohol on the go at the Noras, but it's a party, and of course it's Christmas, so it's a Christmas party, and we'll maybe get these little fellas involved in the party as well, so they'll have a good time too.
You're going to place them on the table, Stephen. Add them to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't love Lego?
I know.
Exactly.
Do you know what I was
when I step on it.
Yeah, definitely. I saw, and I'm very tempted to buy it, but a light up, you build it, a Lego Christmas tree that lights up and it spins.
I've seen some of those in my Facebook timeline, but when I click through, almost none of the photographs show a person in the picture. But then when it shows you a person, you realize it's a lot smaller than you think. It's not. It's not a big Christmas tree.
Probably not that big.
Probably. I can have it as a desk, ornament.
And Lego sets are crazy expensive these days, but I do love Lego.
Yeah, it would fit quite nicely in your background there, Stephen, wouldn't it? The light up Lego Christmas tree.
I am obsessed with that Tetris thing that you've got.
My rainbow Lego people there. I've got a little Lego fella here with his drone. I like to fly drones. And I've got a whole bunch of Lego on the other side of the room as well. So
love it.
I mean, I'll be honest, Stephen, I wouldn't get any work done if I had that setup behind me. I love it. I love that Tetris thing, and I love the different colors and stuff.
Some people say that it sets off their flashing lights and so on. But I think it's fine to have a bit of color in the background. I know, and also I like to. It's Stephen's man cave. Well, on the other side of the man cave, I'm just going to show you. So these are the Nora fish. So we don't have names for them because we had to replenish the fish recently. A couple
replenish. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, so a couple moved out, and a couple of new ones moved in. So we've got 5 fish in there, and you should see them getting all frisky when I give them some food in the morning.
I could. No, right. I can imagine.
I seriously censor myself then. I was going to say something, and I thought, Christina.
When I say frisky, I just mean that the speeding up and down. It's a bit like how when you have a dog and they have like a mad half hour, like sometime in the afternoon, they just run up and down like crazy. The fish do the same thing.
Love that. Do you know what? Did anyone notice the transition from the fish tank back to Stephen? It's like a fade. Like yeah, it always does a little fade when it comes back to you. I'm like, this is so impressive, and I'd love to just be in that room at the moment, just see how it works. Like, so you've got a webcam facing the fish tank.
Well, so that's actually is my phone over there. Fish in the fish tank, and it's connected via this technology called NDI, so it's wireless. So the phone is connected to a bit of software I use called ManyCam, and ManyCam allows me to have different cameras coming on screen, so I can show this.
Oh,
or
yeah,
different
show these. This is it.
So these are all the finalists for the Noras. This is
okay, yeah. Talk us
Ooh,
through some of the
yeah.
finals.
Yeah, we'll
so
go
the
back to
finalists
the
for the Noras. These are all the Nora finalists.
So there you go, CV library there, Kim.
Yep, they do a great bit of merch.
See Aldi, and then what's the
the
teardrop? Recognise that? Is that Vodafone?
Where's that?
Rainbow. Next to Aldi.
Well, if I could see Aldi, then I would know where you were talking about.
Aldi is
just under the J, where the J is for job adder. If you go down 4, left 1.
Okay. Oh, that's searchability. The pink and green.
Okay.
That's a company called Searchability. They've been.
Oh
they've been
the other side. The other side.
Right. Oh, that is Vodafone. So that comma, the apostrophe is Vodafone. It is.
It's like guess the logo, guess the company.
It is. I love how it talks
I love the logo game.
Yeah. So and of course here is that this is Glasgow outside right now. This is Glasgow Cam.
What a beautiful day.
It's like we're on Lorraine, isn't it? You know when they do a little segment. I love it.
And did you see that? The fade come back into Stephen. It's subtle, but it's there.
What when we were in the pandemic, I was doing a lot of consultancy with companies on setting up cameras for remote working. What sort of kit they would use and so on. So I do like this kind of thing. But the main camera that I'm using here is actually on a little gimbal. If I stood up and walked around, it would follow me around the room. But I can flip it around so it'll spin round to there's the so that's the couch area over there.
Very bougie, Stephen.
And here's the door. So the doors over there. You can see the fish just behind that logo.
Oh my god! It's
I would not place
part
it.
Recruitment, part therapist office. Stephen, I want to move in with you.
Yeah. And on here we've got the board with all of the sponsors for the Noras, and then
it's very ambient, isn't it? Is that the right word?
One thing I can do is I can do this, so it flips to so I can do an unboxing video.
Stop it now.
How? I'm honestly, I'm watching this baffled. It's like, how does the camera look down?
It's on a little gimbal that moves around, and it just resizes what it sees. It's magic.
Yes, you are.
So, Stephen, does it motion sensor you then? So when you're moving, oh, there we go.
Yeah. So I move over here, so it follows me around. So I could get up and walk around the room, and it'll follow me around.
Oh,
that is amazing! And it zooms in, and it zooms in slightly. Amazing.
It's like, I'm with the best days of my life, Stephen. I'm absolutely impressed.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot.
I do love a gadget.
I'm with Paul on this one. Can Stephen be on every week because he can do like a tech segment and teach us a bit of tech, the latest tech.
Yes.
And it's Black Friday coming up. Do you know any good deals?
But Black Friday, I need to keep my fingers to myself now on the mouse when I'm looking at deals because I do buy more gadgets than most. I'm trying to think, is there anything recent that I've got? Actually, there was a camera that I clicked purchase and then I clicked unpurchase very quickly because I realized I don't need it. Step away from the but everyone has something that they're especially interested in, and that's mine. And Lego, of course.
Maybe, just maybe, we could, if Stephen could come on every week, we could get rid of that other woman that comes on every now and again, Christina.
Shout one.
Yeah.
I was
Don't
thinking
tell her that.
in a while.
You haven't hosted in a while, have you?
I know. So I think Christina, she's been about.
So where is Christina today? Let's.
She's been about.
I can't believe you've just said that. Christina today is.
You're as much as saying she gets around.
Yeah.
Oh. This is the thing. I'm sorry. That's not where my mind was. She's been, as in she's been around.
It doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to stop. You carry on. Sorry, Christina.
So yesterday, was she where was she yesterday? A leadership
Members
something?
only. Rec Connect, something called Rec
Rec
Connect.
Connect, that's
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And then today she is at Expert Empires, which we've been to Expert Empires before, and what an event! Loved it.
Yeah, it was
But
really
I
good.
want to go and see a band where there's a big Christmas tree. That's what I want to do. Forget Expert Empires.
Yeah. And go home with some tinsel and a little Lego person.
I mean, what more could you want out of life?
These amazing awards that you've shown.
So was the awards just solely your idea? Was it just a one-man band and it's become this big, because everybody looks forward to it in the recruitment industry, I feel.
So every award that's out there, someone at some point had the idea and thought, oh, do you know, we should do this. And the reasons for doing it are always quite different. But the purpose behind the Noras initially was a bit of a marketing exercise. I had a website in 2000 called alljobsuk.com. And All Jobs was a database of every agency in the country, every employer with more than 100 staff, and I think 15,000 individual recruitment consultants, and all the job boards and publications. So the whole idea was that job seekers could find where jobs were being advertised, because at that time, you wouldn't really know of most of these job boards, and you wouldn't know that agencies had websites even. So at the time, I was thinking, as a new website myself, it would be nice to win an award, but the next best thing is if we give out awards. So I reckon that if a big company like Monster or JobSite or whoever at the time won an award, they've got a marketing team and they'll shout about it. And as it turns out, they did. So that was good from a marketing point of view. But also, what's always good from a marketing point of view is if you in some way align yourself with excellence. If you say, I'm really interested in things that are the best at what they do, then the companies that you're talking about and saying that they're the best, if you pay someone a compliment, then for the most part, they pay attention and they pay a compliment back. So it's nice to be nice. And all of the companies who've been shortlisted as finalists and winners in the Noras, they're all part of that wider family. So it's a big network.
Amazing.
I can imagine even in 2000 when you set up your website and stuff, Stephen, like you'd be top of the range, because like your sort of interest in tech, I feel, just would put you on the map immediately.
So the first website I built was for my recruitment agency in '98, I think. And what I did was
What year were you born, Nicole?
96.
So when you were 2, but
this is what I mean. So I don't do tech as much as this. It's crazy. Sorry.
So I found a recruitment agency in Fresno, California, who had a website that looked really spiffy. And I thought, oh, how do I build a website like that? But I found a bit of software called Microsoft Front Page. And with Front Page, you could put in the address of a website and download their entire website to your computer. What you could then do is change the logos and then upload it to your website. So you've got a website. And it was as simple as that. And clearly there was a little bit of pilfering going on there. But I customized it enough so that it was not recognizable as the other site at all. But I very definitely took inspiration from it. And we're doing that all the time. We're doing that now. You see a site that you like the look of, you might like the colors or the layout or the the application process or the logo, and you think, how do I do something like that? And actually, all of these things can be done. There's a way to do it. And you might want to bring in experts to help you to do it if you're not a programmer or a techie, but it's good to have a picture in your mind of what you like. So, and I've built a load of websites over the years, and whenever I speak with someone about what they want in a website, I ask them for examples of sites that they like and to tell me what they like about them, because that helps to pin down what they're after.
Yeah, I was just about to say on our web form, actually, when we're talking about logos and things like that, one of the questions we ask is, give us sort of 3 to 5 well-known brands that you like, because then you get a feel for what sort of direction that they want to go in. You know, whether
Yeah.
it be your Nike and it's just the simple tick, or if it's something a bit more, you know, a bit more detailed. So that's a great way to you know what direction to go in.
Absolutely, absolutely. And always remembering whatever you're doing, if you're hoping that people will see it, then you'll hope also that they remember it. And in order for them
Yes.
to remember it, it has to have a brand, and that brand might be the logo, it might be the tick, it might be the word Nike, it might be the colors.
Yeah.
So all of these things together combine to form what you would call as your brand, alongside your reputation. So you know, whether you see 3 lines and instantly think Adidas, or you see the tick, then you want, without actually spelling out the word, for people to be aware of that. So you know,
Yeah.
the Noras is obviously the word is built into the, you know, the iconography, but there's various other bits and pieces that we use, and it should be the same with any brand, any company, coming right down to your colors and so on. And if you stamp that on pretty much anything, if you put Nike on a mug, then suddenly you've got a Nike mug, and people
Yeah.
don't think about mugs and Nikes, but you know, all of a sudden you would think, are Nike doing mugs now? You know, so a good brand is exactly that, and it applies the same for job boards, for recruitment agencies, and for employers.
Definitely. Now, even speaking about Nike, it's like the Sports Direct, I instantly think of the mugs. You know,
Yeah.
the big mugs with the blue, yeah. And I feel
Yeah,
like everyone's had one of them at some time in their lives.
those big mugs that you can climb in.
Exactly. No, as you said though, Stephen, it's all about sort of just getting inspired. It's not, it's interesting. I would love to go back to the 90s and just have a look at what that website would have looked like, because I can imagine there not being very much like options or features. It's just being a sort of a standard template that you know, and you change a few things around to make it your own. Whereas now it's obviously you have loads of templates to work with, and as you said, programmers, and you can go into detail, you can go through a website and go through that way. But you just, it is all about sort of getting inspired but making it your own. But there's so many creative options these days to not make it look.
That website out of which the Noras came, alljobsuk.com, is what it was. When I designed that, the menu system across the top that was, you know, job boards, employers, agencies, and publications, that was a complete rip-off of Amazon at the time, where they had tabs for, you know, buy books, DVDs, and so on. And it was just, I was learning from people who I thought they know what they're doing. So that's how you make a menu system, so people can go from one area of a website to the other. And the people involved in the very earliest stages of the internet and building websites, they wrote the book on what we see now and we take for granted. You know, that when you go to a website, that the logo's in the top left, and when you click the logo, it takes you back to the homepage. That there's a menu there. There might be sub menus and so on. And whenever you see an image, you assume that it must be a link to somewhere. So all of these things, and words that are underlined, well, that's clearly a link. So all of those things, at some point way back, someone has decided, I'll do this. This seems like the logical thing to do. And after 25 years, then it seems like it's always been that way. But someone had to think it up in the first place. And I'm not saying I thought up anything in the first place. I totally copied it. But
Paul added a comment here. AI can design your website nowadays, which is absolutely
AI can absolutely do that.
So what are your thoughts on that? What's your take on that?
So AI building your website is great for people who don't know where to start. What I'd be inclined to do, if you had any kind of tool or platform that showed you how to do that, then I would give it a go, see what it produces, and then replicate that on a platform that you wanted to use, like WordPress. So I use WordPress for lots of websites, and WordPress is really handy and good to do. If there's AI that can build a WordPress website for you, then that's great. But I don't think it would do that. It would do it based on some other platform. Maybe Wix have it built into their platform. Wix is great if you want something quickly, but it's quite difficult to manage Wix websites,
Okay.
you know, as an administrator. So I would tend to steer clear of Wix or some of the other auto builders. But absolutely, in terms of building a look and design that you think, oh, that's what I'm after, then you can do that. But at the same time, you can look at your competitors' websites and see what they're doing and decide either to do some of that or none of that, based on what you like. And depending on your skills, then you can either build it yourself in WordPress or you can ask someone to do it for you.
Amazing.
But the other day I went on a website, gamma.ai. In fact, I'll just double check that's the right one. .ai, gamma.ai, and it helps you to build no, it's not that one. It'd be some other. It's the Gamma something, but it builds PowerPoint website. PowerPoint presentations. So if you've got a presentation that you need to get done for a talk you're giving tomorrow, then you can go there, tell it in general what you want to talk about, and it will produce your PowerPoint slides, and you can download it and then have it in PowerPoint. And rather than starting with a blank page on PowerPoint, it does that for you. And all you then need to do is customize your content.
That's
Wow.
amazing. Is it
Are you finding
gamma.app?
it?
Yeah, I think I'm
Gamma
looking
Gamma.app.
gamma.app.
Yeah. So gamma.app is kind of genius. I would definitely recommend giving it a go. In the space of 3 or 4 minutes, you can have your PowerPoint presentation created and ready to go.
Amazing.
So,
yeah, people are putting it in, people are sharing it. Right, Canva can do presentations now within their website as well. So yeah, there's so many.
I'll be honest, I've always shied away from Canva, and
really,
as much as I like tech, Canva kind of confuses me, to be honest.
wow.
I use Photoshop all day, every day, and various other graphics tools. But whenever I use Canva, it seems to be, it just seems to be too confusing for me, because I want control over the exact dimensions of the thing that I'm designing, you know, in pixels, and I want to be able to save the image to a certain resolution, and I want to choose and position each element that goes into an image. So and I want ideally want to have it in vector form as well. So when you do it in Canva, you can produce something really quickly, and it can be very handy. And I know loads of people who swear by it, and they get really professional results. I just don't think I could make professional results with Canva myself without relearning a lot of what I've already had to learn on Photoshop.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I feel like if you've got that ability and at a good level on Photoshop, then stick with it, you know. So I think like Canva's that stepping stone to help people sort of with design and creating.
In fact, Adobe Photoshop have a version of Photoshop online that's almost exactly the same as Canva. It does all of the things that Canva does, and maybe a couple of extra because it's Adobe. But obviously, it's not free.
Yeah. How do you feel about? Have you tried the Photoshop AI generator thing where you type in, you put a picture in, and you can expand it to make it into a larger image, and it just creates it itself?
I have, and so it's often the case. I'll take a photograph, and I need it to be wider for the dimensions, and I'll just make the canvas wider, and I'll ask Photoshop to generate the fill that space, and I use that quite regularly. That's a common thing that I'll be doing, or polishing up with the neurofilters. You can put in old photographs from 100 years ago, and it'll make it look as if the photograph was taken yesterday, and it's really high resolution. So some of those things are quite phenomenal. So the technology is really cool.
Because I remember when that got introduced into Photoshop, and we were all in the office at the time, weren't we, Kim? And Mark was showing us, and we were all just so amazed. Like, he just typed in, what was it, a leopard eating a pizza, and it was just
crazy,
And he showed us the dimension thing of making a, like, how it just looks like that was the the original photo, but you've actually just added, you know, if you're taking a scenic
Yeah.
pic, you can add it, and it's almost like that was there. Like, it's,
Yeah.
how do they know?
So
Crazy.
the thing about those things is it generates amazing stuff that couldn't be generated in any other way, but it's still relatively random. You know, people will be getting much better as they go along at these things and working out how to make the most of that technology. At the minute, when it suggests things to you, it'll give you 3 suggestions, and you flip through them and you go, I don't like that, show me more. So it's going off and thinking about something and coming back with an answer, rather than you directing what the answer is going to be. If you have a specific thing in mind that you want to design, then the only way to do that is to design it yourself. But if you ask the system, if you're not skilled in using those tools, then absolutely use the shortcut.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm amazed by this conversation. Every time you come on, Stephen,
we can keep going,
There's just so much. We could literally sit here and talk all day, but I know you're very, very tired. And a very busy man.
I need to nap.
Yeah, and you've obviously got a few busy weeks ahead, Stephen, but just for everyone listening and for people that are going to watch back on this, where can people find you to get information?
So most importantly, if anyone wants to come to the Noras, and please do, it's open to all, not just the finalists. It's the people who come to the Noras are
The
kind of a who's who of
let us know. Where can we find you?
Yep. So norauk.com is where you'll see all the details. Sorry?
Say that again, Stephen, for everyone.
Okay, so norauk.com is where you'll see the details on the Online Recruitment Awards, and tatech.org, where you'll find details on the TA Tech conference. And on any platform, you'll find me under the username Stephen O'Don with 2 N's on the end. So Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of that.
Lovely.
Amazing.
Well, I think on that note, we wish you all the best with the Noras and the TA Tech as well, Stephen. Yeah, and to all the finalists, wishing them all the best of luck. And I'm sure, as you said, it's all about supporting each other and getting inspired and all of that. So, yeah, we wish that everyone and yourself the best on that day, on the 6th of December. And we look forward to seeing lots of pictures. And I might be there.
And
so
you're coming to that, was it?
Yes. Yeah, so I'll see you there. But I think on that note, we'll say goodbye and sign off. So we're going to give you all a big wave, Stephen, if you don't mind doing the honours for us. But yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Yeah, you're flashy.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye for now, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.